The Volkswagen Beetle, Type 1, informally in German Der Käfer, meaning beetle, in parts of the English-speaking world the bug, and known by many other nicknames in other languages, is a two-door, rear-engine economy car, intended for 5 occupants. Later, Beetles were restricted to 4 people in some countries, that was manufactured and marketed by German automaker Volkswagen, VW, from 1938 until 2003. The need for a people's car, Volkswagen in German, its concept and its functional objectives were formulated by the leader of Nazi Germany, Adolf Hitler, who wanted a cheap, simple car to be mass-produced for his country's new road network, Reichsautobahn. Members of the National Socialist Party, with an additional dues surcharge, were promised the first production, but the Spanish Civil War shifted most production resources to military vehicles to support the nationalists under Francisco Franco. Lead engineer Ferdinand Porsche and his team took until 1938 to finalize the design. Bela Bernier is credited with conceiving the original design for this car in 1925, notably by Mercedes-Benz, on their website, including his original technical drawing, 5 years before Porsche claimed to have done his initial version. The influence on Porsche's design of other contemporary cars, such as the Tatra V570, and the work of Joseph Ganz remains a subject of dispute. The result was the first Volkswagen, and one of the first rear-engine cars since the brass era. With 21,529,464 produced, the Beetle is the longest-running and most manufactured car of a single platform ever made. Although designed in the 1930s, due to World War II, civilian Beetles only began to be produced in significant numbers by the end of the 1940s. The car was then internally designated the Volkswagen Type 1, and marketed simply as the Volkswagen. Later models were designated Volkswagen 1200, 1300, 1500, 1302, or 1303, the first 3 indicating engine displacement, the last 2 derived from the model number. The car became widely known in its home country as the Käfer, German for Beetle, cognate with English Chafer, and was later marketed under that name in Germany, and as the Volkswagen in other countries. For example, in France it was known as the Coccinelle, French for ladybug. The original 25 horsepower, 18.6 kilowatts, Beetle was designed for a top speed around 100 km per hour, 62 miles per hour, which would be a viable cruising speed on the Reichsautobahn system. As Autobahn speeds increased in the post-war years, its output was boosted to 36, then 40 horsepower, 26.8, then 29.8 kilowatts, the configuration that lasted through 1966 and became the classic Volkswagen motor. The Beetle gave rise to multiple variants, mainly the 1950 Type 2 bus, the 1955 Karmann Ghia, as well as the 1961 Type 3 Pantone and the 1968 Type 4, 411-412 family cars, ultimately forming the basis of an entirely rear-engine VW product range.